What about coconut oil? That's the new one on the block, like
Yeah.
I mentioned.
Okay, so coconut, so our problem with oil is that it's only a matter of time until it oxidizes, right? Now, when butter goes bad, you know it right away. You can smell it, you can taste it, and it's not good. When lard goes bad, you know it right away. But when oil goes bad, you don't know it, unless it's like really bad, right? So when there's olive oil in a bottle, at the top of the bottle is air. And you have no idea how long that bottle's been there. You have no idea how long it's been in the truck or on the shelf or in the manufacturing or distribution center. You have no idea. While it's sitting in the bottle, unless they've sucked the air out and put nitrogen in, which the more progressive companies do, the oil is slowly oxidizing. It's not all oxidized, because if it had, it would be rancid. But it's oxidized. And then when you heat it, when you put it in a wok, it takes about 10 minutes and it oxidizes completely. Coconut oil is the slowest of all the oils to oxidize. It takes a longer time for coconut oil to oxidize than it does for olive oil. But it's only a matter of time. So that's like saying, I mean, you know, well, I'm not going to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. I'm just going to smoke 3 cigarettes a day. And I'm going to be okay, right? Or I'm not going to work in an asbestos factory. I'm going to work in the office next to the asbestos factory, and I'll only be exposed to a little bit of it, right? So from our point of view, even though coconut oil takes the longest amount of time to oxidize of all the oils, it still will oxidize. And what the heck do you need it for anyway? You don't. Cook with butter or lard and you're good to go.
Doctor, we've talked about inflammation being a root cause of actually many different things. Where does that start from? What causes inflammation that in turn leads to many other conditions?
Life causes inflammation. I mean, it does, right? The second law of thermodynamics is everything dissolves and decays. And that's a law of physics. It's the second law of thermodynamics. Mountains turn to dust, iron turns to rust. Everything decays all of the time. The same thing is happening in the human body. Interestingly enough, the human body has a police department, which is the immune system. It also has a fire department, which nobody talks about, which is the body's ability to put out the fires of inflammation, which are a normal part of life. So, for instance, you walk down the street and you breathe in carbon monoxide from an automobile exhaust. Carbon monoxide goes into the body and creates the formation of something in the body called a free radical. A free radical is an oxygen atom that's lost an electron. And an oxygen atom that's lost an electron will stick to anything. It's like metabolic Velcro. Now, when enough oxygen atoms stick to something, whatever it got stuck to becomes oxidized. And when something becomes oxidized, it ultimately becomes destroyed, right? That's how iron turns to rust. So, oxidative damage inside the body is the main causative factor of inflammation. Now, if the body is properly nutrified, it can handle normal oxidative stress that's present just from walking down the street. But if the body is not nutrified, you know, it's like the hook and ladder truck showing up at the house that's on fire, and it hooks the hose up to the hydrant, but there's no water in the hydrant. Well, if there's no water, you can't put the fire out. If the body is out of essential nutrients, the fire department can't work. So the normal inflammation that's just a part of day-to-day life gets the upper hand. So there's 2 things that are necessary in this domain, in this regard, right? We have to support the fire department of the body. And we do that with 90 essential nutrients, especially selenium. Selenium is extremely important. And the whole concept of nutritive antioxidants, right? This is the domain of antioxidants. Antioxidants are like the water that the fire department uses. This is why consuming food and beverages or nutritional supplements that are high in antioxidants is extremely important for, you know, health of the human body. But in addition to giving the fire department of the body the raw materials that it needs to work, we also it would be prudent for us to take steps to avoid being exposed to things in the environment that cause inflammation and create free radicals. You know what the biggest cause of free radicals from our point of view is? Fried food and oil in a bottle. What's that? That's right, everybody's favorite, olive oil. Oil in a bottle, salad dressing, eventually will oxidize. And when you consume anything that's become oxidized, you have free radicals in your body. So eating salad is like loading up on free radicals. And if you fry a food, forget it. And it's interesting. If you look at a map of life expectancy in the United States, right? Life expectancy, county by county in the entire United States, the part of the country that has the lowest life expectancy, and it's dramatically so, is the Old South, the old Confederate South. Why is that? They've got the same education, they've got the same water, they've got the same sewer, they've got the same drugs, they've got the same insurance, they've got the same hospitals. Everything is the same except one thing. In the South, fried food is a religion. They eat more fried food in the South than anywhere else in the United States, with the possible exception of Native American reservations around the country, which are also extremely high in fried food. When you go overboard with fried food, you load your body up on free radicals. Your body does not have the raw materials to put those fires out, and so your body decays faster. This is why people that live in the Confederate South have the lowest life expectancies of anybody in the U.S., and nobody is talking about it except us.
Ohio's up next. First, we have Leon, who's got a question about coconut oil. Hey, Leon, thanks for the call. You are live.
Yes, I'm quite curious as to your thoughts in regards to coconut oil, because I've heard that, of course, it's a medium-chain fatty acid and doesn't react in the body like the polyunsaturated oils.
Well, there's a difference there. You're right that it doesn't. Medium-chain fatty acids have a different reaction than the long chains do, but nonetheless, there's still an oxidative process that's going to happen, and it's only a matter of time until even coconut oil becomes oxidized. And this is our problem with oil generally. It's got nothing to do with hydrogenated or non-hydrogenated or long chain or short chain. It's the oxidative process that happens, right? Oxidative damage causes everything to die. I mean, that's the second law of thermodynamics. Everything decays, right? Everything decays, everything dies, everything enters into a state of dissolution. It's only a matter of time. Mountains turn to dust, iron turns to rust. Well, your body also decays, and one of the main players in the active degradation, natural degradation of tissue in the body is oxidative stress, oxidative damage caused by an oxygen atom that's lost an electron, which is referred to technically as a free radical, right? So, you're right. Our whole thing here, man, is look, you know, you're not going to go outside in a pouring rain or in a snowstorm in your bathing suit. You're not going to do that because that stress is going to hurt you. Yeah, you need to avoid as much as possible the stress of life, and you need to guard yourself against the stress of life that's inevitable. A lot of life stress is inevitable, but if you can guard yourself against it, strengthen yourself against it, it's a much better proposition. So this is why we have a blanket across-the-board prohibition on oil, because of the oxidative damage which ultimately must happen to the oil. Now, you can make the argument, and rightly so, that coconut oil oxidizes the slowest of all the oils, and it does. But, you know, it still oxidizes. So